You see this blue rectangle on your screen? It looks simple, right? Just a block of color, but what if I told you that every single element on any website you have ever visited, every button, every paragraph, every image is actually built using this same invisible structure? It's called the CSS box model, and understanding it is like getting a superpower for web design. Think of any HTML element as a cardboard box you are shipping to a friend. The box model has four main parts, working from the inside out. First, the very center, we have the content. This is the actual stuff inside the box. For a paragraph, it's the text. For an image, it's the picture itself. The picture of this content area is controlled by width and height properties. Let's look at some code. Here's a simple div, and here's some basic CSS for it. So right now, our content is 200 pixels wide and 100 pixels tall. Simple. But what if you don't want your content to be pressed right up against the edge of the box? That's where the next part comes in. Padding. Padding is like the bubble wrap or packing peanuts inside the box around your precious content. It creates space between the content and the inner walls. It's transparent, so it takes the background color of the element. Now you can control padding on each side individually. Let's add some specific padding to our box. See that we gave it more padding on the left and right than on the top and bottom. But typing all that out is a lot of work, right? That's why we usually use a shorthand. This applies 20 pixels of padding to all four sides equally. Top, right, bottom, and left all get the same spacing. This is the two-value shorthand. The first value 10 pixels applies to the top and bottom, while the second value 30 pixels applies to the left and right. This is the four-value shorthand, and it follows a clockwise pattern. Top gets 10 pixels, right gets 20 pixels, bottom gets 30 pixels, and left gets 40 pixels. Just remember top, right, bottom, left. Let's use the shorten property. Much cleaner. The content now has balanced, comfortable space inside the box. Now what if you want to separate this box from the other boxes around it? You don't want them touching, right? That's the job of margin. Margin is the personal space outside the box. It's the empty area that pushes other elements away, and the key thing to remember, margins are completely transparent. No background color, nothing. It's just invisible space. And just like padding, you can control each side. You have margin top, margin right, margin bottom, and margin left. And of course, it has the exact same shorthand as padding. 30 pixels of margin on all four sides. Top and bottom get 20 pixels while left and right get 0. Again clockwise, top 10 pixels, right 5 pixels, bottom 15 pixels, left 0. Let's add a margin using shorthand. Imagine we have another box below this one. The blue box just created a force field around itself, pushing everything else away. The red box respectfully moved down. You can use margin to create gaps between paragraphs, space between images and text. Alright, we have got content, padding, and margin, but there's one more layer, and it's a crucial one, the border. The border sits right between the padding and the margin. It's the literal cardboard box itself. Wrapping around your content and padding, you can make it thick, thin, colored, or even dotted. Let's give our box a solid border. And there it is, a 5 pixel thick, solid, dark blue border. Notice how it goes outside the padding but inside the margin. Now here's the most important game-changing part of the entire box model. Pay close attention because this trips up everyone when they are starting out. By default, when you set a width 200 pixels and height 100 pixels, you are only setting the size of the content. The total actual size of the element on the page is total width is equals to width plus left-right padding plus left-right border plus left-right margin. Total height is equals to height plus top bottom padding plus top bottom border plus top bottom margin. Let's do the math for our box. Width 200 pixels plus left right padding 30 pixels plus 30 pixels is equals to 60 pixels plus left right border 5 pixels plus 5 pixels is equals to 10 pixels. Total actual width taking up space 270 pixels. Our element is 70 pixels wider than we originally thought. This is why things sometimes don't line up the way you expect. You think you have two 200 pixels boxes that should fit in a 400 pixels container, but they don't because their borders and padding push them over the limit. But keep watching till the end because an important tip is coming up on how to fix this headache. Imagine your browser's developer tools. When you inspect an element, you often see a diagram like this. This diagram is a perfect summary of everything we just learned. It shows how everything stacks together. Now about the headache I mentioned, there is a way to change the rules of the game so that the width and height include the padding and border which makes calculating total size so much easier. It's called box sizing. By default, every element uses box sizing content box. This means the width you set is only for the content. But if you change it to box sizing border box, the width you set now includes the content, padding, and border all together. The margin is still on the outside. Let's fix our box. Look at that. Now the total width of the element from the left border edge to the right border edge is exactly 200 pixels. The browser automatically calculated that the content area should now be only 130 pixels wide, 200 pixels total, 60 pixels padding, 10 pixels border to make everything fit. This is such a common practice that most developers start their CSS files with a universal rule. This applies border box to every single element on the page, making your life infinitely easier. So to wrap up, the CSS box model isn't just a theory, it's a fundamental blueprint for every web layout. Thanks for watching, hit that like button and subscribe if this helped.